guys, Julia here from JM Squared Vintage. Welcome back to the channel. I am here today with a bins haul. This is actually a bins and thrift haul. I didn't have a ton of time at the bins, so I've got some really fun pieces from there, but also I had to return something to Crate and Barrel, and while I was there, I spotted a thrift store that I had never been to before, so I popped in and found some real gems. So lots and lots and lots of stuff to talk about today. But before we get started here, guys, if this is your first time here, if this is your first time stumbling on my channel, first and foremost, welcome. I am Julia. That is my name. We talk all things thrifting and vintage and the business of reselling on the internet here. If that sounds like something that you might be into, consider hitting subscribe down below. I would love to have you along on this journey. But without further ado, guys, I think I've got a grand total of about 35 pieces here. I think I had about 30 pieces from the bins and then like another 5 or 6 from the thrift. So lots to talk about. So why don't you go grab yourself a snack, grab yourself a drink. You know I've got my matcha latte. So sit back, relax, and let's get into the goods. So we'll start this off with the things that I got at the thrift. And this was something that I saw on a new rack that just rolled out. And this is a down puffy jacket from Tumi. What? I couldn't believe when I saw it. So it's a fully packable down jacket. You can see it's got an interior pocket here where you can actually like fold it into itself. So it is super duper packable. I want to say that these retail about $300, and on the resale market, they're going between like $50 and $100. This was somehow not classified as a jacket. It was classified as a men's sweater, and it was on half price. So that ended up being $6. I'll take that all day long. All day long, and you should do the same. Also on that same rack was this gorgeous cream classic polo Ralph Lauren quarter zip sweater. You know, Polo is one of those brands that I've been kind of getting into a little bit more recently. And it's one of those things where like, you forget how expensive this stuff was. Like story time, I was in Spain about a month ago with a couple of my girlfriends, and my luggage was lost for the second half of the trip. And to be clear, all 3 of us had lost our luggage during this trip. Our one friend who got there before us, her luggage was lost on the way there. She was without her luggage for 6 days. When we took a flight between Sevilla and Barcelona, me and my other friends' bags got lost. So we spent a lot of time shopping. And the one store that we went to had a polo section, which I just kept going back to because I love the look of the polo stuff. And I'm like, you forget that these are $200 sweaters. But on the resale market, this is a size large. On the resale market, this will probably fetch somewhere around $40. And again, this was on half price. So this I paid $3.50 for. So I'll do that all day. Keep your eyes out for the polo. People love it. It is just perennially in style, well made, just the kind of stuff that I love to buy. I rarely get my hands on it at the bins because I think that there's 2 or 3 people that I see there very frequently for whom like that is what they do. So I just don't tend to get my hands on it a lot, but found it in the racks and I'm gonna grab it, especially when it's half off. Next up, also at the thrift store, a label you want to keep your eyes out for sure. And I know that some of you guys out there have a lot deeper knowledge into like Hawaiian shirts and vintage Hawaiian shirts, but this is Rain Spooner. So keep your eyes out for that label. I want to say that this is probably 80s or 90s. This is a women's dress. It's this kind of like under the sea fish print. Like the only other one of this dress that I'm seeing for sale is being listed for like $175, which seems crazy. But some of the vintage Rain Spooner stuff, and I'm assuming that there's some level of collectability to the patterns. I'm again sure some of you guys can speak a little bit more knowledgeably to this. I'm really just like scratching the surface of Hawaiian shirts. But there are quite a few similar dresses like this that have sold for like between like $40 and $75. So maybe somewhere in that range. I mean, you have to give it a try. It is vintage for sure. And it is, you know, one of those brands that people do collect. So put those 2 things together and it's something that's probably going to be a pretty good sale. Will that sell in the dead of winter? Maybe not, probably not. That'll probably not go until temps start to warm up a little bit, unless this is going to somebody in like Southern California or Hawaii. But either way, should be a pretty good sale. And if you guys have Rain Spooner knowledge, please drop it in the comments, help everybody else out, because I know that it is a brand that people search for. I just don't know too terribly much about it. Next thing I found was this great James Purse kind of sweatshirt dress. I've sold this dress like 3 or 4 times in the past. It's just a little French terry bodycon sweatshirt dress, raglan sleeves. It has like a very like vintage sweatshirt look to the top. Kind of hits right about knee, and this I've sold 3 or 4 times for between like 30 and 45 bucks. This is just a great little like throw on and go, you know, you're running out to get coffee, kind of a elevated basic. Throw this on with some like cute little white sneakers and it's a whole outfit. But I love picking up James Purse. I will gladly pay up for James Purse, especially more substantial pieces like this. You know, another brand that retails at absolutely astronomical prices. This was probably over $300. Like James Purse is so expensive, but the quality is there. The textiles are fantastic, and there's a reason that people love them. So this was a great little find. Next up, now this is something I was very excited to see, and the first thing I saw was that little leather tag there. And if you know what that is, you already know who this is. This is a sweater by Lunya, which was so exciting to find. This is a chunky knit Henley collar. This is a cotton, wool, and silk blend sweater. Lunya is known for their silk. That's kind of how they got their notoriety. They do wool and linen and silk and cotton these days, but their quality is always really nice. This is a great elevated basic. This is what they call their cotton silk Henley, and it retails over $200. So on the resale market, I will probably see somewhere between like $40 and $100. Lunya stuff resells incredibly well. If you are unfamiliar with their labels, definitely get familiar with their labels. There's this version, and then there's one that's like white with a more blocky logo. But either way, remember the name Lunya if you are not familiar with it, because they are big time bolos. This one was also half off, so I think I paid about $4 for it. Yes, please. And finally, from the thrift store, this is honestly, I think, the find of that store. This is a 90s vintage. If you watched my like fall winter 2025 trends report, you'll know that the 2 biggest things happening right now are plaid and preppy. And this is vintage Lauren. So the way you can tell vintage Lauren by Ralph Lauren is that the tags are woven and not screen printed. The bigger the label, the older it is. This was probably like late 90s. The early 90s stuff is the stuff that's really in high demand, but this, for this time in fashion, between plaids being huge, like traditional kind of tartan style plaids being huge, preppy being huge, Ralph Lauren Christmas trending, which is a thing. Guys, look it up. It's kind of a vibe and I love it. And that's kind of how I've always tried to run my Christmas, but now it's a trend. I will probably get somewhere close to $100 for this. It's in excellent condition, really good condition. Doesn't feel like it's been worn much at all. If more than once, I would be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if this was somebody's like Christmas skirt that they wore for like Christmas dinner and then took it off immediately after. But I think I'm gonna see a good price on this because of all the different factors. And this is a perfect example of a situation where this is a brand that a lot of people would leave behind because it's not Ralph Lauren, because Lauren is considered the diffusion line. But when you know that it's vintage, you know that you're following style cues. Like this could very easily just be a style pickup. You know, this is gonna sell for a good amount of money. And if you were just going by labels and leaving behind Lauren by Ralph Lauren, like you would not touch this. So always, like, yes, I talk a lot about labels here, but I also talk a lot about styles and trends. And when you merge those 2 things, you can really have a winning strategy. So perfect example. All right, now onto the stuff that I got at the bins. We'll kick this off with something that is just a no-brainer for me anytime. This is a We The Free oversized thermal shirt. It's like this oatmeal-y color. This is a size large, and it is very oversized. This could easily fit up to like a size 2XL. These kind of shirts from We The Free, I will say this every time I have one, if you are not picking them up, you should be picking them up. The basics specifically from We The Free sell so well for me. Even like the little wisp of nothing t-shirts, I will list them all at $32. I will typically get between like $20 and $25 for them. But the amount that I get $32 for is absolutely gobsmacking. This is a little bit more substantial, so I'll probably see a little bit closer to 30, 35 on this. No doubt that this will go fast. I'm pretty sure that this is still actually sold in stores. So anytime you have something like that that is actively like being advertised, you're gonna get a better price for it, especially when it comes to Free People, because they have such a huge amount of SKUs. Next up, I found this really pretty silk tunic. This is from Christina. This looks vintage. This is a size extra small. It is an oversized fit, but it is like a very lightweight. It feels almost like a silk taffeta. Like it's very, very lightweight. It doesn't have a ton of like body like a heavier taffeta has, but it has definitely more body than like a chiffon or a crepe. Really pretty. It's got these really stunning little stone buttons. I'll have to do a little bit more research into what Christina is, but it's lovely classic tunic style. So it's got those tall side vents, longer line, and in beautiful vintage condition. So something like this, I'm not quite sure. I'll have to, again, do a little bit more research into like this specific style and this designer, but probably somewhere between $30 and $40. It's typically what I see in vintage silk blouses similar to this. I've just never had one that's as much of a like straightforward classic tunic. So we'll see. The size might slow it down a little bit, but that's okay. This is lightweight, very, very small, and again, in gorgeous vintage condition. Next up, this is something I actually got for myself. This is from Evereve. Hopefully this fits me. Evereve's pretty expensive. They sell their own stuff, and they also sell a handful of other like high-end. This is just like a little cropped pocket tee, so we'll see how comfortable I feel in the crop. But the good thing about it is Evereve does sell quite well, so if I'm not comfortable in it, this should be easy enough to sell, and I'll probably see somewhere around $20. I've actually bought and sold quite a few Evereve, just basics like this, and they sell fast and for a great price. It must have a real cult following. I don't know too much about it. I think they're based in Utah. Just looked it up. They're based in Edina, Minnesota. I think I said that right. Minnesotans, let me know. But yeah, so a good find. Fingers crossed it works for me, but we'll see. Next up, this was a fun find. This is a vintage Pendleton. Now, guys, anytime you see that label, you need to be paying attention. You need to be comfortable paying up for Pendleton. This is vintage, I'm gonna guess from the 90s. This is a silk men's shirt. It's very boxy. This is like one of those this feels like a Tommy Bahama fit, if you know what I'm talking about. They tend to be like a little kind of oversized, but I love this like vintage travel print. Oh, it's so cute. I love the colors. This is in like perfect condition. It's a size extra large. I'm gonna guess that I'll probably see somewhere maybe 40 to 50 bucks on this, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. I've actually never found Pendleton silk before. I found lots of Pendleton wool, but no Pendleton silk. And this is, again, in just like flawless condition. It's a good size, you know, a nice option for the Hawaiian shirt devotee who needs something for fall time, you know, something that looks a little bit more season appropriate, but gorgeous condition and a total bolo. Pendleton is a forever bolo. This is one of those brands that has just never been like super red hot, and it's never been out of style. This is just a constant heritage, forever in demand brand that you should always be on the lookout for and always be comfortable paying up for. Next up, this is another brand that I love to find, and I never find it here. Once every like 6 months or so, and that is Boden. And this, in case you aren't familiar, is the newer Boden label. They have an older label that you've probably seen, but this is a linen blue short. Do you know how much I wish that this was my size? This is my color. It's linen, it's Boden, but it is a medium, unfortunately, so not for me. But it is 100% linen, V-neck. It's got a cute little cinched waist, and the waist is smocked on the back for a perfect fit. It's about knee length with a pin tuck detail there at the hem, and it's in like perfect condition. I'm gonna guess I'll see somewhere between like 40 and 60 bucks on this. The quality of Boden stuff is so nice, and their prices, they're pricey, but they're not like out of control pricey. They're not like $300 for a dress. This was probably like $150. You know, so it's spendy, but it's not like Saks Fifth Avenue spendy. So if you are looking for good like investment pieces, like if you wanted a perfect little black dress, if you could find this in black, I mean, this is the kind of thing that will never be out of style. It will always be flattering. It's linen, it's well made. I just really like Boden. I like Boden personally. Like, I think that their styles are very classic. I think that their construction is really nice. I think that they're good bang for your buck. They are pricier, but I think that you get very good quality for that. And as a reseller, I love finding it because it flies out of my closet because other people feel the same way about it, and you get a great price for it. Aces all around. To me, Bowden's a bolo. And I just never ever find it. And this dress, so cute and in like the perfect blue. For me, anyway. Next up, we got a little pair of Lululemon leggings, but to be clear, these are the Align leggings. They're navy blue, and they are the crop length, not the crop length that hits like right under the knee, but the crop length that hits like just under the calf muscle. And they're in pretty good condition. They are a size 8. And pretty much the Align leggings are the only ones I'm gonna be picking up. So something like this, I'll probably see somewhere between like $20 and $30 on. And it should go fairly quickly because the Aligns still have a real devoted following. But really any other leggings from Lululemon that I see, I'm really not picking them up unless they're like the flare leggings or like the groove pants, or there's something that I know is like red hot right now. But Aligns for sure, I'm still picking up. I'm interested to see how this does because I haven't found a pair of Align leggings in a little while. I still wear them personally all the time. I just wore a pair to Pilates this morning. But yeah, it should go well. Let me know how you are doing with your Lululemon leggings. Is anything still selling like hot for you? Are you still picking up Aligns? How fast are they moving for you? I can obviously see my data, but what are you guys seeing with the leggings? Are you even touching them if you see them while you're out and about? Next up, okay, so this is one that I'm giving a try to. So this is from Banana Republic. And this is a cute little perfect black dress. So it's about midi length. It still has like the back vent tacked. It is a size 10 tall, which is the main reason I got this, because it's hard enough to start with for our tall queens to find stuff that fits them lengthwise, and even more so for them to find it on the secondhand market. There's just not a lot of it out there, period. So perfect little black dress, the most like flattering neckline, maybe of all time, and it's in great condition. Now, Banana Republic is not a brand that I pick up a ton of, and I've had a couple people leave comments saying that you guys do really well with Banana Republic. So I'm giving it a try with this one. I think that it's got everything about it that will sell it regardless of the brand. You know, again, the fact that it's tall, the fact that it's a little black dress, the fact that it's like kind of below the knee length. This kind of checks all the boxes. So we'll see how this does. I'm gonna guess somewhere between 30 and 50 on this. Like, I would love for Banana Republic to be viable on the resale market because the quality is always really, really nice, and I've always hated leaving behind these pieces. So we'll see how this does. And if this does really well, which I think it will, like I said, it's got everything going for it, I'll for sure be picking up more. I'll be keeping my eyes out for some more significant pieces. Next up, we've got a beautiful little vintage scarf, and the main reason I picked this up is because it is brown and plaid, two huge things this season. But this is vintage Bill Blass. There we go. To figure out which way that goes. So this is vintage Bill Blass, and when you look at the tag, it's kind of cool. It's Bill Blass for Bar and Beards, which I guess was like a neckwear retailer. So kind of interesting. I mean, it's 100% silk. It's made in Japan. It's in perfect condition. I'm gonna guess just by the style of this is 90s, maybe late 80s. But if any of you guys are familiar with Bar and Beards, let me know what you know, because this is a wormhole. Like, I've kind of bookmarked it on my laptop, so I haven't gone deep into this, and I can't wait to read a little bit more about this, because that feels so weirdly niche, but I'm so interested. But for something like this, probably somewhere around the $30 mark, I would guess. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. I haven't ever sold vintage Bill Blass, let alone a scarf, so we will see. But I am kind of loving scarves these days. Like, I'm just paying a little bit more attention, and there's a lot of crappy scarves that I see out in the bins, but every once in a blue moon I find something like this. Like, if you can find the good stuff, if you can find the good ones, they tend to have a decent selling price. They're really small for storage, and honestly, scarves are having a moment right now, so very cute. Next up, now this is a brand that I do not pick up a lot of at all, and this is Splendid. Splendid is one of those brands that's just like so expensive. You forget how expensive it is, but it is Splendid. And the reason I picked this up specifically is that it's this kind of ballet style crop sweater, this like wrap front sweater, which is having a trend moment right now. I can't remember if I saw this from Depop or if it was from Poshmark, but I saw one trend report that this is like one of their like highest search things, like ballet wrap sweaters. So I figured I'd give this a try. Splendid is of course a very like nice high-end brand. And if memory serves me right, this has a silk blend. Yeah, this is a cotton nylon silk blend. And strangely, this is from Rent the Runway. So it's really, again, a nice, like, elevated basic from a good brand. It's splendid, so I'm not anticipating getting a ton of money for it, but maybe somewhere between like 25 and 32 on it. Keep your eyes out for those ballet wrap sweaters, guys, because apparently they're really having a moment. And when you find stuff like that, you're going to use like ballet core as a keyword, because that is still something that people are looking for. Next up, this was a find. I actually found this inside out, and I want you to see the inside so you can probably understand why people didn't touch it. It looks like it's stained from the inside out. It's not, it's just the color treatment. And this is from All Saints, which is definitely a high-end brand. I'm gonna say that this probably retailed like $200. This is in perfect condition. This does not even feel like it's been worn. Like there is no wash wear whatsoever on this piece at all. I'm gonna guess that this was probably worn once. It's a size medium, made in Turkey, so you know that this cotton is like mwah, French terry in, again, perfect condition and a very like on-trend look right now. I will probably see somewhere 50 or more on this. The funny thing is I found quite a bit of All Saints stuff, and a lot of, like, I found a lot of their t-shirts, which sell very well, generally in the $25 to $30 range. Like they're kind of like undershirts. People love them for undershirts. And I've never really found anything in this good a condition. Most of the stuff that I found from All Saints has been, you know, pretty well worn. It still sells, but like this feels like the tag could have been cut off of it 2 hours ago. So we will see, but definitely a great find. And another reminder that, you know, if you see something and it feels really good, just check it out. Because if I didn't take the time to like turn this right side out and see the logo and see the condition and see that it wasn't staining, it was just like the color treatment, this would have gotten left behind. So, okay, next up. This I think is so pretty. This is from Hildegard Handwoven's. I think that she was somebody who made like a handmade like pieces and sold them at like craft fairs, as far as I can tell. Look at this. Look at the texture on this. This is just like a little cropped jacket with a band collar. Isn't this so gorgeous? I mean, it is made impeccably well. It looks like her pieces, she sold them for around $300 or so. I didn't see anything quite like this that she had for sale, but isn't this absolutely stunning? This is something that, I mean, again, like the brand does not matter. This is beautifully made. You can tell that it's handmade, and just this textiles treatment is something I've never seen anything like this before. This is something that I'll use, you know, art wear, art to wear, art teacher. I use all those like artsy keywords because I think that that ultimately is going to be who this will appeal to. It is a size small. It is so stunning. But I like something like this, you cannot see this and leave it behind, especially not at the bins. Isn't that gorgeous? Absolutely stunning, unusual. I mean, find another. Talk about a talent. Absolutely gorgeous. I mean, nothing makes me happier than finding stuff like that. I mean, that's one of a kind. That has absolutely got to be one of a kind. Which, by the way, if you have something that is one of a kind, be sure that you are using OOAK in your listings, because people will search for that. That's one of a kind, obviously. That's the abbreviation. Next up, okay, this is a label I want you guys to keep your eyes out for. This is vintage Bonnie Strauss. Now, if you look at Bonnie Strauss's stuff, it's a little bit more like Johnny Was, almost into like the Magnolia Pearl kind of boho, but the 1990s and 1980s version of Bonnie Strauss was this kind of like romantic, almost like Western inspired romance. It's beautiful. So this is just like a sheer blouson sleeve tailored shirt. This woman was listening to Delilah sipping a Chablis. Like, I feel it in my bones. This is the older label here. Bonnie Strauss, you'll probably catch the little rosette before you see anything else. It's got this kind of square collar. There is a little pinhole here on the front. I don't think that that matters. I just recently sold a Bonnie Strauss dress. It sold in, I think, under a day. I want to say it sold in about 12 or 15 hours, and it sold for like 80 bucks. There must be a collector's market for her stuff, especially her vintage stuff. But like, again, Chablis, Delilah, maybe a bubble bath. You know what I'm saying? Her stuff is just such a vibe, and I'm so excited to find it. So something like this I'll probably see with the damage, maybe around $30 on it, but I have no doubt that this will go quickly. This is so just like of that kind of 90s romance era, and I love it. But keep your eyes out for that name because it does resell very, very well. Next up, this is another vintage piece. This is, I'm gonna guess 70s on this one. So this is the front. It's 100% silk. This, I think, is the silhouette that those 90s dresses that look like this kind of copied, right? So it is midi length. It is that kind of fishtail hem. It's completely bias cut. This is actually a really good dress to show bias cut on, right? So this is it, like not pulled out at all. But as you can see, it has that much give to it. And this is regular silk. If you were to kind of turn it diagonally, you see how it snaps, but if you do it this way, it's got that give. So this actually doesn't have a size in it. I'm gonna guess it's about a size medium. The designer on this is Elena Dorado. If anybody's familiar with Elena Dorado, let me know. But this is a beautiful like teal blue. I love this little detail. It's got a little rhinestone strap and it's only like on the back. It just kind of goes over the shoulder and down to the back. The back is scoop, and again it's got that fun flippy little vintage fishtail hem. So I'm not quite sure what I'll get on this. I'll have to do some like digging in terms of the designer. I'll have to do a little bit of like just research and measurements to like make sure that I'm representing this you know, size wise, but probably somewhere between $50 and $75 on this. I just so much silk. I love it. I love a flippy hem like this. This is the kind of thing that makes wearing it feel so much more fun as it kind of swirls around your legs. It just adds a little bit of the dramatics, right, to your steps. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. My initial thought was, is this vintage from the 90s? But I think that this is what those 90s vintage dresses were referring to. So I think that this is actually original 70s. Stunning. Next up, we've got a little Italian cashmere high V-neck sweater. These high V-necks, specifically calling them high V-necks, have been trending in menswear quite a bit recently, which is kind of an unusual thing. This is from Luigi Baldo. So I don't know much about the designer, but it is a lovely, just cream, classic cashmere sweater, the kind of thing that at a minimum I'll get like $30 on. So yeah, something like I said, somewhere around a minimum of $30 on this, and no doubt this will go quickly. This is just such a classic piece and the kind of thing that I keep my eyes out for all the time in the bins. I find a lot of cashmere in the bins, and a lot of people, especially if it's just a plain sweater like this, will skip right over it. So keep your eyes out for it, even if it's a no-name brand or if it's, you know, Charter Club, which is a brand that I otherwise would not pick up. Their cashmere is great, and I get $30, $35 all day for those. So great little find. Next up, we have another little We the Free piece. I thought that this was really cute. This is like a little popover with a lace-up collar. I love the color, this kind of like almost periwinkle blue with the stripes. The sleeves can be worn rolled up or not. It's a nice like blousey fit. I also love that it's got full-on pockets here on the front. Like it's got like full-on like kangaroo pockets here in the front. It is a size small, which is wild because it is definitely like an oversized fit. This would fit me, and I am not a size small. But something like this I'll probably see, you know, is somewhere in that $25 to $35 range for it. It's all cotton, great condition, super comfy, cozy. And this is the kind of thing that I'll use both, you know, shirt and pop over. I'll also use like swim cover up, because I could see with this big lace up front, this could easily be something that somebody would throw on like over a bathing suit at the beach. So always be on the lookout for those kind of double dip opportunities with keywords. Next up, this is an interesting one. So this is a dress that is made of jute, which you don't see all that often, but I decided to give it a try. I'm really interested. Does anybody else pick up stuff like this? I've really never really had my hands on it. One of the buttons is broken, but there is a replacement here on the inside, so I'll get that switched out. It's a size extra large, made in India. It is definitely jute. It definitely has that like stiff, burlappy feel. It's fully lined in cotton though, so it's not gonna be like uncomfortable and stiff next to the body. I'm not quite sure what I'll get for this. Maybe somewhere between like $30 and $35 for it. There are a couple jute dresses out there. This is just kind of like a little like knee length sheath dress. And there are a couple other jute dresses out there that have gone for really serious prices, so I'm gonna have to do a little bit more research into that. But just from like a natural fiber standpoint, I just have like a gut feeling that there are people that are really, really into jute as clothing. So we're gonna give that a try. I'll try to report back when it does end up selling. Next up, we've got a little tried and true moment from our girl Eileen Fisher. You know I love Eileen Fisher. This is just a cotton hooded long line cardigan, open front. These are the kind of things that I love to pick up, really just, again, those high quality basics. These long line cardigans, while not being on trend right now, are still things that are highly sought after. There are a lot of people that still love their long line cardigans to wear, you know, around the house as their kind of casual wear. And Eileen Fisher makes them better than pretty much, so keep your eyes out for it. Something like this, I will probably get somewhere in the vicinity of like $30 to $40 for it. It is a pretty small size, so that will maybe slow it down a little bit, but with the exception of that, it'll still probably sell quite well. Eileen Fisher does very, very well for me. Next up, this was one that kind of piqued my interest. This is a little Puma jacket, and the reason I grabbed it is the fabric. This feels like that ultra lightweight, like running kind of windbreaker type stuff. This is also in like flawless condition, and it's a size XL. I don't get my hands a ton on stuff like this. There are some resellers in the locations that I go to that do a lot of sportswear like this, so I rarely even get my hands on anything like this that's not like damaged, but I'll probably see somewhere between like $20 and $30 on this. The times that I have had stuff like this, you know, maybe selling from my own closet, it tends to sell very, very quickly. These are those kind of like purpose-made garments that are like a necessity if you're into something specific, so you're always looking for a bargain for them. It's way less like aesthetic affected than regular clothing. Sportswear does tend to sell quick. So we'll see how this does. Next up, we have this pretty sweater. This is from Sleeping on Snow, which is an Anthro brand. And it is this gorgeous open knit. And I felt it, I'm like, this textile feels so nice. I've had a few pieces from Sleeping on Snow that like feel like acrylic. This feels like a lightweight wool, and it's cotton, linen, acrylic wool, and nylon. It has such a nice hand to it. So it's got a chunky turtleneck, it's chunky knit, it's longer line, so this is like kind of something you could throw on over some leggings. It is a size small, but it's in great condition. So something like this, you know, I'm not quite sure, probably somewhere between like 30 and 40 on it. And with it being as neutral as it is, I don't think it's gonna last for all that long. This is like a good Christmas sweater, you know, the kind of thing you wanna like curl up next to the fireplace in. And Sleeping on Snow does shock me sometimes in terms of like what the pieces sell for. It's one of their like higher priced labels. So we'll see how this does, but I mean, it just feels like such a dream. Next up, this is definitely a label I want you guys to keep your eyes out for. This is Jane Barnes. Jane Barnes is an interesting brand in that the designer, Jane Barnes, she was like a math nerd. She might have even been like a mathematician, and she's known for integrating mathematical equations into her design. This is not a great example of that, although I would not be surprised if there's some meaning behind the stripes, or if you look closely, there's something in there. But she was around in the 90s. She's still designing, but she's designing more like household textiles, like rugs and stuff like that. But there's a real cult following for Jane Barnes' stuff. So it's definitely a brand that I am pretty comfortable paying up for. I mean, I wouldn't go crazy. I'm not gonna pay like $15, $20 for it, but definitely something if you see one of like the more notable, like interesting designs. This is very, very classic for her. You'll know what you're looking at when you see it. But I've sold Jane Barnes shirts anywhere between $30 and like $50. So keep your eyes out for it. Really beautiful quality stuff too. But yeah, there is a cult following for Jane Barnes pieces, and with her no longer designing clothing, there's just a finite supply on the planet at this point. Next up, a little vintage piece. I will pick these kind of things up anytime I see it. This is from New York Silk Studio, but 90s vintage for sure. This is a little like utility style silk shirt. This is the kind of thing that I will sell to the vintage folks out there. And I love that it's got the little pen slot here, just like a nice little detail. But for anytime you have pockets like this, you want to make sure that you're using utility shirt patch pockets, chest pockets, etc. Something like this I'll probably get somewhere between $20 and $30 for all day long. These are the kind of things that will sell on like Depop and eBay really well, and I've sold 1 million of them, and I will sell 1 million more. So very cute little find. I love this color. Next up, another fun vintage piece. This is definitely 90s goes 70s. This is from a brand, I'm pretty sure that this is Aussie, called Valley Girl, which I think was maybe like one of their fast fashion brands back in the day. But this swirly, like groovy 70s pattern, I remember this in the 90s. I remember this being like really, really cool. And there was that whole move of like the 90s does the 70s. You know how like today all these young kids are like, oh, the flare leggings, and everybody who was around for the first iteration was like, yeah, they're yoga pants. That's what we called them. I'm sure our parents were thinking the same thing as we were like, oh, these flare jeans, and they're like, they're bell bottoms. But like they were the height of cool, and this was like right in that timeline. But something like this, it is acrylic, but it is definitely vintage, and this is for sure a style pickup. I'll probably see somewhere between 20 and 25 bucks on this, and probably fairly quickly. This is like the color of the season in a really like unique pattern, so very cool. Next up, we've got a little Free People lace piece. Again, unconventional lace, huge this year. This is kind of like a double dip in that it is all over lace. It is sheer. I love the lace pattern here. It's also very boho. Like the boho that's happening right now is pretty much monochromatic. Lots of soft colors, creams, pastels, etc. Not as many actual florals. So it's a lot of lace and a lot of monochromatics and a lot of sheers. So that's kind of how that is working. Something like this. I mean, I don't know how old this is. This could have been new. This is a tag that I'm not super familiar with. Probably somewhere between like 18 and 25 on this. And I have no doubt that this will sell fairly quickly. Just with it working with so many of like the predominant styles happening in fashion right now. Next up, this is such a cool vintage piece. This is vintage Cynthia Steff, 90s, like working girl, 100%. I am obsessed with these buttons. I think it's really, really cute. It's a navy blue. The buttons are kind of like a dark purple. And I wonder if at one point in time they were color matched. I don't think that the blazer would have faded, but I could see the buttons changing color. I have a pair of Escada pants, same kind of color differential. So maybe this was a color combo that was big in like the workwear in the 90s, but let me know if you guys were around. But it's a size 14. It's just a really unusual blazer. It's got the preppy, it's got the 90s vibe going for it. We'll see how this will do. I mean, maybe somewhere between like 30 and 40 bucks on this. I'm interested to see how this works. It is beautifully made. And again, just a blazer with interest. So we'll find out. I mean, this is kind of an experimental vintage piece for me, but it was just so unusual that I had to pick it up. And you know me, like if it's weird and well made, I'm at least gonna give it a try, especially at bins pricing. Worst case scenario, it gets donated back, but I just thought that this was so cool. And I think that it's got some like current fashion appeal right now. We are getting there, guys. Next up, this is a dress from, oh, which one is it? It's one of those like, oh, Polly, Princess Polly. Okay, so this one is Oh Polly. The reason I got this, their pieces sell fairly well. So it's like a little cowl neck, but the main reason I got it is that burnout velvet. People love a burnout velvet moment. So it's midi length, it's got a high slit. The front, you can see the lining is like a little V-neck, but when it's up, it's got a little bit of a cowl neck, and then the back is kind of lace up with a cowl in the back as well. Like this looks sensational on. Oh Polly is one of those mostly Australian fast fashion online brands. They might have actual stores in Australia, but here they're online only, and it's like Lucy in the Sky and Princess Polly and Oh Molly and White Fox and all these kind of brands are technically like fast fashion. I think that their quality is a little bit nicer than your standard like cheap fast fashion here, but they do sell quite well for me. I mean, like I'm not gonna get a ton of money for this. It's probably retailed like 60, 70 bucks, and I'll probably see somewhere 25 to 30 bucks. But just given the style, I think that this will sell quickly. This is something that is just as easily used for like wedding guests as it is for like a holiday dress, especially with the color. And I mean like burnout velvet, I'm on board. Next up, we've got a nice piece for men. This is from Vince. This is 100% linen, which I am obsessed with this like dark heather gray in a linen jersey. I want an entire wardrobe made out of this. So it's Vince, it's a size medium. This is in like basically brand new condition. It's perfect, classic, little elevated basic. So it's probably retailed $200, $250 knowing Vince. And I'll probably see somewhere like $35 to $40 for this on the resale market. It is a more summery piece, so this might not go until we get into that like beach vacation era of the year, but something like this, I'm never gonna leave it behind. This really looks like it was brand new, or it was at least owned by somebody who knew how to take care of it, because it feels perfect. So love finding stuff like that. 5 more things. This is a cute little vintage dress. I mean, show me vintage and pleats and I'm a happy girl. So this is like a midi length, accordion pleated, like you can kind of see how bouncy that is. Midi length dress with like a lace collar, button front. It's in great condition. There's no tags on this at all. My first thought always on these vintage pieces is to like look for belt loops, and I don't see any old belt loops, so I don't think it's missing a belt, but I think it would benefit from a belt. But I think that this is probably about a size medium. I mean, but it stretches immensely, right? Like this could easily go up to like an extra large if you need it. And even the waist is stretchy, so that's a nice thing. And the elastic is in great shape. I'm gonna guess that this is 70s, probably see somewhere 30 to 35 on this. It is all polyester. It does have one little spot on it. It's not super noticeable, but I'll see if I can get it out. It's like very, very faint. I mean, I can't leave behind this kind of stuff. I really can't, especially in good condition. No, I love my vintage. Next up, we've got this little piece from Cobby, and I haven't picked up anything from Cobby recently, but I saw this, and I mean, just with like Barbers being as big as they are right now, I had to grab it. So this is like a little quilted puffy vest. It's got corduroy over the shoulders. It's got like a faux fur trim. I love the little interior print on the back there. It's super cute. Cobby's one of those brands where I'm just hyper selective with it. There are certain things that sell out and people will pay up for it, and this just feels like, I don't know if this is new or older, but just with it being like so perfect for trends right now, I figured I'd give it a try. I will guess that I'll see somewhere between 30 and 40 bucks on this. And I wouldn't doubt that this will go fairly quickly, just with the style. This looks like very referential to a Barber jacket. Very referential, so adorable. Forgot I had some shoes. So I found these little Chuck Taylors, but these, if you are unfamiliar with this motif, this is the Comme des Garçons Play line, which is kind of like their, I don't want to call it a diffusion, but it's almost like their like casual wear line, in the same way that like Essentials is like the casual wear line for Fear of God. Very distinct. Now these were like super popular a couple years ago. They're still pretty popular. I'm not going to get as much for them as I would have a few years ago. The base shoes of these are called Chuck 70s. So like if you ever noticed when you bought a pair of like classic Chuck Taylors recently, if you notice that they don't feel the same way that the Chuck Taylors feel that you had when you were growing up, it's because they've changed them significantly. If you want that old classic Chuck Taylor feel, you get the Chuck 70s. And they're basically made exactly the same way that your Chucks used to be. They weigh quite a bit more. If you're a wide-footed person, they're still gonna be pretty uncomfortable after a few hours, but I love them. I think that they're like super chic. I've got a pair in like the cream, like not the Comme des Garçons ones, but I've got a pair in the cream and I've got a pair in the black, and I think that those are the kind of sneakers that should be in everybody's closet who likes to wear sneakers, because I think that they are like elevated while still being playful. My opinion. I love them. But for something like this, these I want to say retailed like $200. They were significantly priced up from regular Chuck Taylors. I'll still probably see, and these are used, they're in pretty good condition. I'll do a little cleanup on them, but I'll still probably see like 35 bucks on these, 35, maybe 40 bucks. They are a women's size 6, so quite small. So I'm interested to see how this does, but you can't see Comme des Garçons in the bins and leave it behind. You just like cardinal rule. So next up, I found this stunning Badgley Mishka. This is Badgley Mishka collection. So this is like spendy. This is like the high-end stuff. This is all silk cut work. Isn't this stunning? It is a size 0, unfortunately, but this is vintage from probably like 2005 or so. And again, all silk, beautifully made. It's got some nice boning on the inside here, so it'll give you like plenty of support. Boning on the side as well, and in perfect condition. I'm gonna guess that this was maybe worn for like one event. But I wish you, like, I just want to get you up close on that detail because it is so butter soft and so gorgeous, and it's all like raw edge too, to really give it that texture. This being vintage will, I think, be its leg up. I'm not quite sure what I'll get for this. I'm going to be keywording this with probably some like characters from like Y2K shows. Think like Sharpay Evans. This feels very much like something she would have worn. If you know, you know. But yeah, the craftsmanship on this is gorgeous. So maybe somewhere between like $50 and $150. We'll find out, but I was not about to leave that behind. I mean, this is a flawless condition. This just looks like it's never been worn before, and it is beautiful. So luxe, so luxe. And finally, this one I was so excited to find. So this is from Max Mara, which I am always excited to find. Italian ultra luxury brand, gorgeous, gorgeous quality, everything. I'm pretty sure that this textile is hand painted. So this is all silk, and it's a full wrap silhouette. So you can kind of see that. It's midi length, and it's like brown on brown. So it's like a darker brown with lighter brown. And I think that all of this gold, because there is like, maybe I'm tricking myself here, but I feel like there's just a hint of shimmer to it. I think that it's hand painted. This is a perfect example of something that is vintage. I'm gonna guess that this is probably from the 90s. And of course the style, but this is very like on trend for right now. The browns, the midi length, the chiffon, the lightness, this is stunning. For something like this, I'll probably see somewhere like $50, maybe $60 on it. Max Mara, this probably would have been like $400 or $600 new. Stunning, stunning, stunning. Their stuff is very classic and timeless, but with the color, with the length, with the style of this, it feels very like right now trend-wise, but I still don't think that there will ever be a time that this will be out of style. Stunning, and in perfect condition. Yeah, like I'm running my fingers along this textile here, and if this was just a print, I would not feel any difference over the yellow, and I can feel the yellow. So this yellow is hand painted. This is a hand painted textile. Ugh. Let me be a nerd, okay? This kind of stuff just does it for me. So absolutely stunning. Always excited to see that label, especially excited to see it in a piece like this. But guys, that is it. That is the haul for this week. Some gorgeous finds, some incredible designer pieces, some great bread and butter, some cool vintage, lots of fun stuff. This was definitely like a widely varied week, but some really cool stuff. So I hope you enjoyed. I think I've got somewhere between like $1,100 and $1,300 in sales here. So all in all, a great day sourcing. Well, 2 days. But guys, I always appreciate you taking a little bit of your precious time. I know we are all so busy to hang with me and nerd out about these things. If you guys had fun, please consider leaving a like or a comment on this video. It helps me out so much. Of course, don't forget to hit subscribe. I would love to have you along on this journey. But without further ado, guys, I hope you have the most beautiful week. Happy hunting, and I will see you all in the next one.